Ciao tutti, welcome to another video, Mary here and with another art journal page project. I'm gonna use my bigger journal for this project and I'm starting with a toned page because as you know my journal has some toned page and some white creamy page, let's say, it's not really white. Anyway, so I'm starting the background in a simple way. I'm just distribute pretty much everywhere the Distress Oxide ink. This is tumble glass and I will put in the video just the name of each color, so if you need and if my pronunciation is not it's not good, you can check it there. And I'm just putting a generous amount of this ink around the page, but as you see I'm leaving empty the left page because on this one I'm gonna use this Distress Oxide ink again. This is fired brick and I'm using just a piece of paper to help me kind of masking the other side of the page and try not to make a mess on the other page, let's say. And so I'm using again this piece of paper and I'm creating this border in brown, and then I want to have one side also again using the same piece of paper. I don't care about the upper part as if it's not perfect. The idea here is to have a branch, I mean the tree and a branch of the tree on that side. That's why I'm doing it this way, and I'm kind of shading that part using a vintage photo. And again, I'm not precise on the branch, is fine. I will add so many details. And as you see, I did a mess over there, but it's easy to fix. I'm just putting a little bit of tumble glass again and it should be fine. Then I'm using the same color, so again tumble glass all around the page with adding some stamping. I'm using a dotted stamp set that I had, and then this circle stamp set is just to add some interest on the background. So before it was the light blue color, so tumble glass, and I'm also adding some white because I thought that the same color was not giving so much interest, so I wanted to add a bit more, let's say, different color. So now in another piece of paper, I already cut, I draw it and cut it what I will be the birdhouse. I'm just doing by hand, by myself, because I don't have any die set or any stamp, but if you have, I think it will help for sure. So I draw it by myself. And I'm putting as a base color worn lipstick, and then I'm adding the shadow with fired brick again all around the shadow, and I'm using also fire brick to have the center, the circle center, just like that, of the birdhouse. That's it, easy coloring process. And I'm also adding in another small piece of paper, again tumbled glass, and I'm drawing a bird, and I'm just using the color, my Faber-Castell Pit Pen Sky Blue, and the darker blue that I have in my stash. And so I'm just adding some more interest on the bird, and then I will cut everything. But first I decided to add another detail. I had this gel pen set that has some glitter on the pen, and I thought it was fun to add this one, so I'm just using the blue color of the set, and that's it for the bird. So now I'm adding some details also on the birdhouse, and I'm using again the Faber-Castell Pit Pen that I have in my stash. So I'm using medium flash. This is medium flash, that is the the medium pink that I have in my stash, and then I'm adding some darker lines with the Indian red. So the idea is to simulate the wood lines here in the birdhouse, in this birdhouse, and so I'm adding some line from the top to the bottom and from the bottom to the top, trying to not make sure that the line are not touching each other, so I leave, let's say, the center part pretty much empty. So that's the idea. And then I'm going to add again a little bit of more shadow on the top, using again the same color. So I'm using a medium flash again. On top of the roof you see some additional part that I cut, and that's basically some chain that will help to attach the birdhouse to the branch. So it's so much fun to draw it and also to color this birdhouse. But again, if you don't want to draw and you have something in your stash, just use whatever you have in your stash. So now let's add some detail also on the main page, and I want to add again some lines to replicate the wood material on the tree and on the branch. And I'm using again same technique, same colors as before. I'm just adding some small semicircle shape, let's say, to the lines, or at least the lines are not straight but are more curvy lines. I think this create a bit more interest to the branch and to the tree. And again, for the branch, as I told you before, I didn't went for perfection on the top of the branch while I was putting the fire brick with the ink tool. And I'm now adding some more definition using the Faber-Castell. To me, it's much easier using brush, a pen than a brush, that's for sure. So again, I'm adding some interest here and there, and I think I like pretty much the result. So it's now time to glue everything together. So I'm gluing using my matte medium by Ranger, and I'm just attaching everything in there. And as you can see, I have one bird, the one that we did together, but off camera I just did the same, another bird to put on top. After that, it's time for the quote. So I'm just taking a piece of paper and trying to replicate the color that I have on the page. So I'm using again tumbled glass as a base here and there. And then I'm gonna start writing my quote. First, as usual, I'm first doing with a pencil to help me. And then I'm using again the Faber-Castell Pitt pen. I'm using first the sky blue for some of the word, for the main word, the one that I want to pop up. So I did in a different style, as you can see, in a more cursive style. And I will then add a little bit of depth, adding the darker color that I have, but not in every part. Just I'm trying to do it only on the stroke that are going down. At least I'm trying, and not all the line, but just some portion of the light. So this one I think is giving some depth. And then I'm gonna go all around again, just to define a bit more the letters and the word with the jelly pen in blue that I was using before. And this one, since it's with glitter, it adds really the that sparkle look that I like on this page. After that, don't be like me, because I don't have much patience, let's say. So I wanted to have this page more distressed. So I just tried to peel it off the border and having a kind of not straight border around this page. But I was a bit too fast, to be honest. So take your time. Don't do like me. But anyway, everything can be fixed, because in a year, let's say, I'm just ripping the paper, but I can fix it, because when I will glue everything on the page, I make sure that the two parts are back in place. So be patient, not like me. And so after that, is now just time to glue everything on the main page. I'm gonna put the quote on the right part of the page. And the quote of today is saying, "Home is where love resides, memories are created, friends always belong, and laughter never ends." I was looking in Pinterest to find a kind of home sweet home vibe of quote, and I found this one, and I really I think it was appropriate. So after that, as you saw, I added some matte medium also on the border of this page, because I want to use my Pitt pen then to just add some interest. And now I saw that on the birdhouse I forgot to add the detail of the chain, so I'm doing now again using the same Indian red color. And I saw that this piece of paper for the quote was a bit was not integrated with the rest of the page, so I decided to go and stamp, adding some of the same stamp that I had on the page, on the background, also on top of the page. I think this one make it a bit more integrated. And to add some depth on that piece of paper, I'm just adding the shadow with the lighter color, the sky blue, Pitt pen, Faber-Castell, and smash a little bit with my finger. Smear a little bit with my finger. This is a technique that I really like. Every time that I have a Pitt pen in my hands, I'm using, more or less. Then I thought that the background was a bit empty, so I decided to add a border. You can barely see, to be honest, because I'm using the same tumbled glass ink, and I'm just going all around the border with another small stamp that I had for the background. This is with some line that intersecate and create some square, and I'm using the same stamp to add some of the border also on top of the tree, but I'm using the light color, so I'm using the fired brick color. Then again, I thought it was still empty, so I decided, okay, let's use the gel pen that I had, that I used on the birds and on the quote, and I'm just adding some line on the corner pretty much, just to frame again this page. And I'm using the blue again because it was already in the bird and in the quote, but on the branch and on the tree I didn't like to add the blue, so I'm adding some small line with the red that I have in the same set. Again, you can barely see on the tree, but believe me that in real life you can really see the sparkle, and that's, I think, make a bit more interest on that part. Well, that's it for today. This is the page, and to be honest, I like it. Some simple page, simple quote. Yeah, easy process, but I like it. Let me know if you like as well, and I will add some close-up picture in the end. And stay tuned for next video. I will do a mini art journal technique next time. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.